Good morning. I'm here to give you an update on the FBI's investigation of Secretary Clinton. What I want to do is tell you what we're recommending. But first, let me tell you what we found. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top secret, 36 of those chains secret, and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Everything I did was admitted. There was no law, no regulation.
Secretary Clinton should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, not even Gmail.
Well, first of all, nothing was marked classified.
To the contrary,
Nothing was marked classified.
there is evidence
Nothing was marked classified.
Now let me tell you what we found.
Oh my gosh.
110 emails.
It was not the best choice.
52 email chains
It was a mistake.
have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it
8
make?
of those chains are top
Was the
secret.
best choice.
36 of those chains
I said
secret.
it was a mistake.
And 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it
With
make?
respect to our recommendation, this is going to be an unusual statement in at least a couple of ways. Although there is evidence, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. What difference at this point does it make? 110 emails.
It wasn't the best choice.
52 email chains
I made a mistake.
have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it
8
make?
of those chains are top
It was not a
secret.
good choice.
36 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Political correctness is a manifestation of lack of fucking self-esteem because you're all cunts. Because you cunts all want everybody to love you. I don't want anybody to love me. I don't want anybody to even fucking like me. Do you think Donald Trump gives a shit what you think of him? Do you think Steve Jobs, when he was alive, gave a shit? Do you think Mark Zuckerberg gives a shit? Political correctness is a manifestation of lack of fucking self-esteem because you're all cunts.
Honey, someone's going to the house. Someone's going to the house. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Who you call the pops? I'm gonna call the pops.
We're recording you.
No. It's okay. I'm just your neighbor. Coming by to say howdy.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, we're not used to people stopping by to say howdy without assaulting us first, robbing us, or defecating on our lawn.
Sometimes all three.
The trifecta. We're from Los Angeles.
Just moved to Texas.
I figured.
Oh, the California plates?
Well, yeah, and the masks. Inside your own house. No one else around. 2022.
We just want to be extra safe.
We feel naked without masks.
We'll probably wear them for the rest of our lives.
We'll be buried in them.
Okay. Well, you seem like a lovely couple. Like I said, I just wanted to drop by and welcome you to the neighborhood.
Why? Do you want something?
Oh, no. I think he's being friendly. People around here are friendly, like we've seen in the movies, right?
I thought that was just make-believe, like superheroes or families that go to church.
No. That's a myth. This is real life.
So, I live in that house over yonder. Name's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. I'm Tiffany. She, her.
And I'm Steve. He, him.
What are your pronouns?
I don't believe in pronouns. I think they're reductive. In fact, just your asking about it is a microaggression.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. I'm just messing with you. I like all pronouns. My favorite is you.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Exactly. So, if you need anything, just holler. My wife and I'd be happy to help.
Baby, he has a gun.
I'm calling the cops.
I'm recording you.
No.
Record.
All right, has anyone noticed this trend among some of our government experts lately? It starts off with them telling you a thing. If you question the thing, you will be mocked, ridiculed, and potentially censored. It then turns out later that the thing that they told you wasn't quite as true as they promised you it would be. And when you point this out, they revert to telling you that, well, they never told you the thing that they told you. And then when you show them incontrovertible proof that they did in fact tell you the thing that they told you, they just suggest that you should be mocked, ridiculed, and potentially censored. I can't imagine why we don't trust these guys.
Hey, y'all. How's everybody doing? Hey, Watt. Hey, Black Watch. Hey, Ben. Hey, Grace. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Dang. Let's see. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Gigi. Let's see. Anybody else? And that's it. Other than whoever's hiding and not speaking. Links out. Anybody wants to come up? Bonnie wanted me to go live, and she didn't feel like it. And I guess I should have told her what time, but I didn't really know because of people coming on here and there. So how's everybody doing? What do y'all think of this Atlanta and California, and I guess Louisiana even having excitement over there? Hey, Cindy. Hey, Kay. I should run some videos, but I'm so afraid of putting stuff up anymore till I get this other notch off of me. Let me tell Carl, too. I don't know if anybody's seen Carl today. Well, he was talking somewhere a minute ago that I guess Jeff B. or something got shot. Hey, Anna. Yeah, that's crazy that they're doing all that. I just don't understand. I guess maybe they need to push charges. The last year they're doing all that stuff and there was no recourse for action. So kind of like spoiled rotten kid that never gets told no or never gets their hand smacked what they turn into when they grow up. Hey, Black Watch, I don't know if I said it, but I said it then. Let's see if anything exciting y'all might. That's good. Anybody know what happened? Did somebody try to rob him or? Not sure. I hadn't looked. I could pop something up, Gigi, to see if they're still doing stupid. Let's see. Let's see. Nobody's really talking about it anywhere I'm looking, so. They're either not doing it or nobody's falling for it. Hey, Edna. So how's everybody's weekend other than the excitement we're getting from other towns? I'm hearing there's a big rash of difference in the egg prices. Like around here, they're $4 or $5 a dozen. Even at Walmart, you can still get the 18 packs of the brown eggs, supposed to be cage free, whatever, in the paper cartons, and they're $6 something for an 18 pack. I've heard some people saying they're paying over $9 or $10 a dozen. That's crazy. It must be in areas where they don't have much facilities with eggs, so they charge the hell out of them because of shipping. Yeah. Well, you can't get them, or you just ain't buying them, Ben. Lori Beetlejuice. Yeah, Cindy, that's why I put that little joke picture up here. Let's see. This is eggs. Tony Montana even give up on cocaine and went to eggs. More money. That's not bad. They're around here somewhere around that too, Grace. Probably $4 or $5. I figured he'd end up doing that though last year at all the hatcheries and chicken places that were suspected of the bird sneezes, and they were killing millions of them. That's not bad at all, Gina. I was getting them here last year for $3 a dozen, but they got to where they were, instead of being brown, I was getting a lot of blue small ones. I don't know if they were guinea eggs or what they were. Shh. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. Like here, I want to have chickens here, but I'm right in the edge of the city limits in this little town over here. And I hear I can have 3 or I can have 6. I guess if you can get 6 chickens, you can potentially have 6 eggs a day. Sometimes they lay more than once, but I guess we don't eat eggs every day. But there's a lot of times when I'll eat eggs, I'll just make eggs and I'll eat anywhere from 4 to 6 of them. I was going to set up the coop and all here and never could get a definite answer. And I figured I wouldn't go to all that work and expense to build a coop that I couldn't put nothing in. I guess I could just say they identify as something else. Blackwatch, this little town here. Hey, Anna, I don't know what about around here. They make their living off because we're right close to the interstate. Most of their money comes from tickets they get from hitting people on the interstate. got oil field work going where they cut through this little town, hit through the back neighborhoods and go back into Louisiana. They're just ruining the roads and stuff here that I don't understand it. It's all it is all that going on to coddle them because they're not bringing any business. They're just destroying roads and highways, and not to mention rattling houses and windows as they all hours of the night. We're not benefiting from it. Yeah, I'm glad the guys got jobs, but if it's going back into Louisiana, why are they detouring through here? They should have right away through down. There should be an easement law where they can come right down the state line. The water glass effect, I've heard water glass in the two different ways. Water glass is one other way to save them, and another way you put them in the ones that float or good or bad. I don't even remember what it was anymore. Yeah, I think you can freeze dry them and then freeze them, or yeah, that's what I could say. They're trans or they're turkeys or they identify as pigeons or they're unicorns. Dang, Bonnie, you out there? Hold on, guys. Talk amongst yourself a second. Let me try to call Bonnie real quick. Yeah, she ain't answering her phone either. She's either asleep or she's mad because I couldn't make my mind up earlier. Yeah, the blue egg. Yeah, also the yolks were kind of yellowy looking, and I like them when they're deep dark orange. To me, they're better eggs. Yeah, these eggs were. If you bought them at the store, they would be under medium. The hell, these are small. They're a Cadbury chocolate egg is bigger than they were. Link's out. Anybody wants to jump up? I guess y'all see the link out there. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, they were bigger than quail, I think, but not much. Hell, they were, I don't know, the yolk in them was, I know, probably half the size of an extra large egg, the yolk. So they weren't quite half the size of an extra large, but they were a good bit smaller. I guess me too. I'm used to extra large eggs. They're kind of weird. They're kind of slender and longer from top to bottom. And that's why I thought they might have been guinea eggs or something.
Yeah, I noticed when I was making mom's stuff, the noodles soaked up all that dang juice.
Yeah. I made all right, I'll check that out. I made soup earlier. Hey, Kim, used 2 pounds of ground venison and 2 pounds of beef hamburger and made cabbage soup with a bunch of different vegetables in it. Then ended up using the tricolored noodles in it. everybody around here in the weird cold weather figured it's soup time, but now they're telling me the noodles swelled and the broth drawed up in them. But heck, I just got a message. It's saying 10's going on here in a few minutes. I don't know how many of y'all are on 10s with it. Let me grab her link. Guess y'all head over there. I'm not going to try to compete. Nobody's showing up over here. I need to get it organized where I got a panel up here. Anybody that don't have it, there's 10 TV's link. Hey, Eldon. Ducks what? Duck eggs? I had them as a kid. One of them is like 2 large eggs, extra large eggs. Anybody see that link out there? Hey, Silver. 10's going live here in 9 minutes. I guess I'll drop out then. So much competition out there, and hell, that might be where everybody else is. It usually comes on here. Hey, Ben, but I already said that. Happy Sunday. It's almost Monday, huh? Some places, hell, it's still afternoon or mid-evening. That's what I like about some of you used to do them. I was up north that I had it, and they made egg salad with them. And then they made deviled eggs one time. I've seen them done that way too. And it's like, yeah, you don't eat a dozen of them. Yeah, Sharon, the yolks are like super orange, but I don't think they're the color. It's just the flavor is like a real strong orange chicken egg. That's what it is here, Ben. 9:52. Dang, I was just fixing to drop link, Bonnie. I was fixing to close up because what you call it? The 10's coming on here in a couple minutes.
Oh.
You there?
So
Oh, all right.
just
I heard
came
you.
30 minutes.
You're cutting out. I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry. It's because I had my computer muted. Am I okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Hi, Chuck. And I'm sorry. I thought you said 10. And so I've been.
Yeah, I went 10 and I was 9, and I was everywhere I was looking. Somebody was on, and I was like, piss on at 9:30.
Well, I'm kind of preparing for a small wedding and trying to eat. And
You're getting married?
no.
I was going to say, that was quick. Who's Mr. Right? He hit the lottery?
Okay. Grace. It's good to see all of y'all. No, one of my daughters is getting married tomorrow, and it's her birthday, and it's just been kind of a crazy day, and it's a happy times.
Yeah, but that's bad. You should tell. I know, but I've heard the old thing about you never get married on a birthday or a holiday because it always bring a bad meaning if something bad happens.
Say that. I said,
you heard the same thing?
No, I'm not superstitious at all. I mean, walking under ladders, breaking mirrors. Nah. So I figure, well, it'll make it where they won't ever forget what their anniversary is.
Yeah. People forget birthdays too. That'd be a double whammy. Be like, okay, forgot my birthday and our anniversary. Okay, get out.
Yeah. And well, this one is just a private little ceremony with family. And then when his family comes from Hungary, I think in March, then they'll have a big wedding. But and I know we're not doing this in the proper order, or they're not doing this in the proper order. I didn't have anything to do with it. But since she's expecting any day now, we're getting the wedding done.
Yeah, like it said on Yellowstone, that one guy told one father told another father, he goes, nowadays the way things are, he goes, never try to count your calendar between your first grandchild and when they got married.
Yep. That's one of the things that hopefully we can sort out in all this mess, is teaching that a little more strongly to our kids.
They got their own place. They moving out there with y'all, or going to put a place out there? Or?
We were just talking about that. The way they have their own place. They're renting an apartment.
Well, that shit goes bad. That ain't a good place to be, really, is it?
Yes, Silver Bee. Shotgun wedding. I had to do a picture like that. Me holding the shotgun.
I wish I could draw like I used to, and I'd draw it and send it to you, but I can't draw anymore. I ain't tried to draw in 40 years, 30 years, 40 years, something like that.
Oh.
Lucia.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, hey, somebody come in.
Oh,
Pickled egg beets is good. But I don't think Bonnie would eat them, would you?
Y'all been up here talking about food.
And now he's calling me again.
Who he?
Hold on, just see if I can answer this.
Okay. Hey, Alicia. Thank you, Kim. Yeah. I don't judge that. It's just, I don't know. Another thing the government turned around, I think. Back in the day, it was just a ceremony if they wanted one. They didn't even have marriage licenses back then. Yes, Grace, tomorrow morning. And then we're going to Chili's to eat. Doesn't that sound like a big shindig wedding? It's just a small little deal, but since it's her birthday too, we'll probably be babysitting tomorrow night so they can go out for her birthday and celebrate. That's what she told me too. Some sleep. Have a big day tomorrow. This is number 8, Gigi, of grandbabies. My oldest is 20 and she lives here with me. youngest is 4, and then we'll have a new one. I know, and so I felt like she at least needed a bouquet, and my granddaughter ran to Dollar General and got these ugly flowers for me to make a bouquet with. And I was like, oh my goodness, how can I do this? And so that's why my daughter was just talking to me, and she said, Mom, please don't make one. She said, what are we going to, no, there's no one to throw it to. And I said, you're right. Okay, the flowers will go back to Dollar General. And yeah, she's number 5 of 6 of my kids that's getting married. Hey, Andy. I have been very, very blessed with children and grandchildren, and they're most of them's choices. He's a good guy. He's all for family first. He was such a help and a blessing the whole time my mother was sick, and he was the one that was, if it was the middle of the night, he was driving her to the emergency room, and he would sit there all night with her, and he is really good. He has to be good to put up with that daughter, because she's an Aquarius. She's very strong-willed, and it's her way or no way. She's not like her mama. Yeah, it is, but it takes one thing I need to do away from me. It's making the bouquet. Save ferrets. Yeah. I'm sure in March they will have me very busy, because I've always done the flowers, done the arch, the all the decorations, everything. I'm a little different now than I was back then, so I don't know how much I'll be able to do, but bouquets are easy for me. I can sit and do that, and no problem. Oh, are you, Anna? Okay. My grandmother was an Aquarius, my sister's Aquarius, my best friend's Aquarius. So, yeah, I've been around a lot of Aquarius women, and very strong women. Not in a bad way, just strong-willed. Maybe that's it. You're Spartacus, Benjamin. I'm Cancer, and I'm a mom to all. That's what, I don't know if it says that in the write-up about zodiac signs, but seems to be my life story. mothering all the kids coming to my house, rescuing kids that got kicked out of their homes, and to take care of all of y'all and make sure you stay positive. And I don't know if the men are the same way. I have one son that's a Cancer also, and he's affectionate and loving, but he gets stressed out really easy. Like, I guess I used to, but not anymore. Maybe that comes with age. I don't know. How do y'all like this? Chat going live early. Calling me, trying to get me up here so he can be on the phone. Love you too, Chuck. And I can't drop a link. I thought it would be pinned like he usually does. Huh. So how did y'all's weekend go? I hope it went well. I hope you have stayed out of the news mess that's all over the place out there. I've seen a little bit of it. It's a crazy mess. But I think we're going to get through it. Chuck, you were just trying to get a hold of me every which way. That's always a good sign, Benjamin. Awesome. That's all we can do is just keep going. Just keep huffing along and live life. Unplug when you need to. I know it's hard to do because you want to catch everybody, but there's times when we just need to back up and there you go, Kim. Amen. Prayers definitely help. I sure felt them through December. Y'all are amazing. Very much appreciated. And sometimes I don't do it live when I see someone who needs prayers, but y'all, I definitely keep y'all in my prayers. I see what y'all say in chat sometimes, and I'll write your name down, make sure it's in there. I'm Kim, and I honestly do not see how they can possibly completely shut down our food supply. That would be, um, well, it would just be nationwide murder. It's what it'd be. So I just don't see that happening. Um, my bank has not changed at all. I'm actually probably going to go and have to get a loan on my car because um, I'm going to have a ramp built at the new house. And I know we're not supposed to get in debt, or we're supposed to be getting out of debt, but I mean, we all have different situations. We all have different things going on in our lives, and we cannot live like it's the end of the world. I promise you it's not. I, well, I can't promise you it's not, but I don't feel it and I don't see it. I think it's,
Sorry about that, Monty. My son having issues. He just called me. One of his buddies, Marine, just fucking killed himself because he's arguing with his girlfriend.
oh, dear God.
Stepped outside, shot him in the head, and then she calls him and tells him that she don't know what to do or something, sitting there holding his head together. His head was all in pieces. I'm like, she didn't need to tell you that shit.
Oh my goodness, Chuck.
Yes.
Dear
Why
Lord.
did you do that?
I know.
I was able to come on if it's been on long enough. I don't understand that.
I just plugged it in.
Sorry about it taking so long. I kept trying to get off. Well, I'm more important than all them, Dad.
Well, yes, and that's true, Chuck. It's okay. I've been talking to Chat, and we're all good.
I just kind of made him mad a little bit because I told him, I said, well, I got one thing to tell you. I said, I ain't trying to sound like a dick about it. I'm like, but me and your mom ain't only important when you guys want something from us. Like, I try to call, they don't answer. If he's on a game, he won't answer. But we're supposed to expect to answer, but which we always do. I hated it when the kids were young, and I'd get frisky or wwhatever, and Vicky be like, either she's tired or we got to think of the kids, or we can't be that way because of the kids. They offered me off at Thanksgiving here a few years ago, and they go, "What's the matter with you?" I said, "I just had an epitome." And they go, "What?" I said, "If you guys realize how many times you've blocked me and your mom," I said, "for the next 5 years, every time y'all go to bed and turn the lights off, I get to come to your house and knock on the door."
Oh my goodness. Just put it out there, Chuck.
I don't know if all women are like that, or when I imagine it's like, I'm tired. I've been dealing with them all day, and I'm like, I was at work.
Chuck, we've heard all our lives how the woman always has a headache.
There he goes calling me.
He's calling you again.
No, I'm not going to answer. All he's going to say is he can't get a hold of his brother. So I got to switch mics, do a bunch of hokey shit to get it to work. And he's calling me on Facebook Messenger.
Oh.
I got to turn audio off and swap mic. And I try to call. I told you exactly what he's going to do. He's going to.
Yeah, my phone's dead.
I can't help it. Most of the world knows what their phone's at and charges it.
Speaking of, thank you. Mine on there.
Not gonna give it either, I guess. He finally did.
Okay, y'all, we're one big family.
I'm happy. I'm not mad. I'm just agitated.
I know. But
It just pisses me off. People killing themselves, and there he goes again.
well, go ahead and take care of it, Chuck. It's okay.
Hold on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I know. Dear Lord, be with that family. Comfort and peace. There is no comfort and peace. Something like that. Well, if you don't come to checks and feel like part of the family, something's wrong. You really shouldn't be in public. Yeah, I actually said that, Juma. Somebody somewhere was talking about keeping the kids away from the trans, all that stuff, and I said, it's like us. You keep it in the bedroom, and no children involved. That's just the way it is, and so that they're exploiting this and having children around, and that's the part that's wrong to me. If that's the life they choose, fine. Just keep it in your bedroom. We don't want to know. I always felt that way at the dance hall whenever I'd see a couple sitting there all lip locked and kind of getting carried away. It's like, go get a room. We don't want to see this. It was a family dance hall, so there were a lot of kids there too, and yep, no whoopee in public. But the way Chuck said it, oh my goodness. And I just saw that when you said helping whoopee. You need, maybe it's time to stop. um, we have to have laughs. I saw one of one playing videos that were pretty good. With I was banging really bad over there, and I had to keep jumping out, trying to go back in. I don't know what those little people are. Y'all are awesome. I can't play anything here. I can. I could play a song. Chuck doesn't like me to. He's afraid it's going to get him taken down. Should we sneak one in? Chima, I understand. Yeah, I guess my poem's kind of depressing. I wrote a poem a couple of years ago when all this first started. It's kind of patriotic too, though. It's like, hear it. I'm not real great. I just write what I'm feeling at the time. Okay, I'm reading this poem to y'all. Hopefully you like it. I'm weeping for my country as I stand and watch her fall. For all those that have fought for her and those that gave all. I hear our allies around the world praying for us to pull through. We are their light in the darkness with our freedom, the red, white, and blue. We the people are on our knees praying for God to help us to the end. For the future generations, we need to stand and defend. Our government has forgotten what they were chosen to do. Their greed for power and money affects all, even you. It is time for the eagle to fly and the lion let out his roar, to fly our flag proudly and pledge allegiance to it once more. Let your voices be heard for the land of the free, every town, every state, from sea to shining sea. So that's my point. Very true, Gmo. I think that's the way I've heard everybody else say it, Gmo. I like the last name, Merkel. That's cool. Can't share my cows because that's a video. It's hard to trust a lot of people right now. That's where it's really sad. I went from one extreme to the other. I used to trust everybody, and now it's like, what are you doing near my car? If I'm sitting in it, back up. I had seen a car that had a alarm like that. It would tell you you're too close, back up now. And I was like, I want that. Yeah. Nope. Men are men, women are women. Like it or not, that's the way God wanted it. the way it is. And I guess if I say it, they consider that hate speech. Taking away the language from us, taking away our... No one's allowed to have an opinion anymore. No one's allowed to speak up. No one's allowed to... I tell my kids, this is not right. It's just not right. I don't even know how many are still here. There you go, Timo. And good for you, Echo. I know both of y'all are two strong women. Around here where I live, we still have those freedoms. But here on YouTube, we don't. Gigi, you're still here, good. So is that a stupid poem? Yeah. It's just the way I feel. We gotta stand strong. There you go. Don't give your freedoms away. We can say no. I'm not having that. One of the things the conclusions I've come to is in the I don't know, even with the military, I'm like, I just don't know. But I have to hold the faith that we have good people in there. We have to. Thank you, Gigi. Not good, Timo. I don't know. All right, y'all. Oh. I don't know. Tell chat. YouTube. Okay, I want to get to the right song. I found one. It was really good by these people. They are awesome. Southern raised. No, not that one. Comes out of place. Yep. You know what? In texting and in chat, it can be a little confusing sometimes and taken the wrong way. Maybe this one.
I've been hurt, but I'm healing. There was pain, I'm still reeling. And I'm dealing with a feeling like stealing all the best years and they're gone. Oh, love carries on. I've had doubts, I've had losses, and my faith turns and tosses. Through the pauses, though I've fought, it's still the crosses. Every reason to be strong. Oh, love carries on. Love carries on. Love carries Love carries on and on and on. Love carries on. God is good.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, we're listening to a song.
I am grateful
Sorry
that
about that.
tables and I'll see it all alone. Oh, love carries on. Love carries on. Love carries Love carries on and on and on. Love carries on. This will be my story, this will be my song, this will be my end when my hope is gone. Love carries on. Love carries Love carries on and on and on and on. Love carries
Southern raised. They are a really good group. There's 4 of them. They can play any instrument, banjos, mandolins, violins. They are, I just love them.
I guess I run everybody off having to do that, huh?
I don't know, did everybody leave?
We got 15 left in here. I don't know if anybody's talking. I think GMOS still is.
Yeah, and GT and Echo.
CGD.
They've been talking to me. I read them the poem that I wrote a couple of years ago, and then Kay's here. Then I played a song. You have a funny? So I was like, well, I can't share anything. And there's
Hey.
El.
Hey, Kay, sorry y'all about that shit.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, I didn't tell you what I made earlier, did I?
No, what'd you make?
That cabbage soup, and I used 2 pounds of deer meat and 2 pounds of beef in it.
Oh, goodness.
Bunch of different mixed vegetables, and I put them tricolored noodles into one that I guess are made with vegetables. Thank you, Gigi. Love y'all too. Son trying to make me feel guilty, like, well, they ain't your kids. I love you, Dad. You should worry about us. Like, Jesus, boy.
Well, if it's affecting, if this was a good friend of his and he's affected by it, I can understand that. That's why I chose that song. Love carries on.
Yep.
Love of family, love, period. I mean, how many times is that said in the Bible?
I just can't understand somebody doing that, committing the ultimate sin, doing that shit, killing yourself. It's like, that's like a one-way first-class ticket to hell.
Well, and sadly, too many people are feeling that way these days. And they're stressed and they're depressed and they're in a bad place mentally, worrying about everything. And especially if he was military, he's a veteran. I can't imagine being in their position as strongly as I feel about all this.
Yeah.
Because what have they been trained to do? Take care of it. And they're feeling just as helpless as we are. And so and that's where we need to really look for, and I know it's tough staying positive all the time. I don't. Faith is a big, I have to stay in faith that everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I try to tell him because he's like, it's bad enough. He goes, I thought about sucking on the end of my gun. And I'm like, that's stupid. You're going to kill yourself over him? I said, what are y'all, a couple? He didn't like that.
But Chuck, always take that seriously.
I know. I would just let him know how much of a coward way out I think that is. And he goes, he didn't understand, but then he did. And I'm like, it's hard to say. I got a lot of buddies I've known 40, 50 years almost. I don't, it sounds cruel, but like one buddy I still talk to, I ain't talked to him in a while, but if he was to do something like that, I don't even think I'd go to his funeral because I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't go to funerals. I can't.
More funerals that I went to, I was a hucklebearer or a pallbearer than I was just somebody being sitting.
Well, it's like I feel all that emotion. It's just like, it overwhelms me. I just can't. Um, I guess that's what they call an empath. And so that when I see someone is suffering in some way in the chats or on the panels, I really do truly feel for them because I know that feeling.
And a lot of these games, they've desensitized these younger people thinking that, I just do this and I can get another redo. Nope, that's permanent.
Yeah, that one is. They have children. Jack,
Build a house or have a house. I can't remember what he said, but
you don't know if they have children.
yeah, they have two of them, I think he said. At least one, but I think he said two. So they were arguing, and she told them they were arguing, and he went outside. Next thing you know, she heard boom. I said she wasn't cheating on him. They wasn't splitting up or nothing like that. And he's like, no. He said, matter of fact, she told me that they had quit arguing.
Jesus, please be with their children.
Yeah, that's my exact words. I said, yeah. Especially if they're old enough to remember. And
Yeah. Yeah, when I was growing up, there was a house at the street. They had one son, and the mother went in the garage door closed, started up the car. That boy,
sorry, Bonnie.
That boy went to school with us, and he came home to that. And I just kept hugging him. What can you do? I mean,
yeah, Gigi, I told him that, and we talked for a half hour. That's all that time I was gone. Now I think he's on the phone with his brother. They finally got it figured out. His phone charged and got it plugged in. They won't answer their actual phone. They want to talk through Facebook chat thing, whatever we go.
and that's okay. It works okay, but I would rather talk on the phone. But it's a good way to have a group call. That may have been what he was trying to do when he was calling you through Messenger.
Might have been. I tried, like I told him, I tried to call you 5 times earlier, 6 times. When I seen what was going on, and
yeah,
or when Wyatt told me or whatever it was, and I didn't have Facebook on at the moment or something. He kept telling me he was on another call, but
it was probably a group call.
trying to find that picture.
Does he have kids, your son?
Yeah, he got 3 of them, and he picked some Lulus. The last one he had, she told everybody a bunch of lies. Friends that some of our friends that had kids lied about a bunch of stuff, and they come picked her up, and her mama's a piece of work. Vicky used to be real good friends with her, but she gets tired of somebody and goes on. Hell, when they used to go out on ladies' night with Vicky and a bunch of the other girls, this girl's mama would more than once, when they go out, she'd end up in the parking lot with guys. And one time she ended up even going out there with 2 of them.
Wow. Well, I was just thinking maybe it would be good to ask him if he wanted to stay the night.
I know his kids have bothered him because he ain't got to see him in a while. This girl took after her mama. She ended up with some guy that her mom had been wanting her with.
So he doesn't have any.
Huh?
So he doesn't have any ties. Like maybe ask him to come and stay the night at your house, and that way y'all can talk.
I asked him about that. He's drunk right now, so.
Oh, yeah, you don't want him driving like that.
No, and I think she is too, so. That's another thing. It's hard to deal with drunk people when you're not. I never think I ever showed you this picture here. This is all 4 of my kids, but this is at this house right after we moved out here. Let's see. See if I can find it through this.
I only saw the one with the 3 boys. Wait, 2 boys. I think.
It was 3 of them. We were out in front of that restaurant.
Yes.
Let's see.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's a different one.
He's asking if you know how old he was.
Who? The guy?
Yeah.
I guess around Cody's age, somewhere between 25 and 35, probably. It's always so much harder to find stuff.
Yeah, my daughter had a friend that she grew up with, and she had melanoma. They thought they got rid of it, and then once they got grown, my daughter moved to Austin after she was married, and that's my oldest daughter. And then that friend of hers, she passed away, and when she came to visit, she's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I said, "Because you have seen her there in Austin, and I just thought you knew." Because I knew her father had her phone number and everything, and knew. I mean, our houses were 2 houses apart, sort of, if you can imagine a ranch. I mean, it was close, but not. But the girls were either at my house or at their house, and her father was single. His name was, well, it doesn't matter what his name was, but they were either there or at my house. And it really hit her hard. Really bad.
Yeah. All it does is really hurt the people that care about them, they might think it's an easy way out, but
Yeah, that's the hardest, is because as a parent, you're going to sit there and think, what did I do wrong? Well, even his wife and kids, it, it's a normal reaction to blame yourself when somebody does that. And then to blame yourself for not being there, they may have needed you the most, or just a whole bunch of things go along with that.
yeah.
So he's probably feeling a whole lot of that. I should have been there. Wish you would have talked to me. Anything, you know.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that picture. I found it in one place. I was going to put it up there, and I was like, shit, I can't move it. So I clicked it through the thing, and now I can't find it. Let's see. Found one, but it's not the same one.
Are you feeling okay?
Who, me? Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Other than worrying about him, is like
Okay.
It's not really worry; it's more aggravated.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you can't feel bad. You can't let that affect you. Like you told me I wanted to do stuff. It's like you had nothing to do with it. You couldn't have stopped it. If he just like they got done, walk outside and did that, there was nothing there. You can't control it. Shouldn't let that get to you that bad. It's sad, it's shitty, it sucks. It's horrible it happened, but is there anything you need to focus on? How them babies are going to act because of it?
I know it. That's the worst.
Man, this is crazy. I can't find that picture. And it was just sitting right there a minute ago on that other. There's that other one again. Maybe I ought to open it up and look to see where it is.
Well, I did see something good. Do you remember the man with the snowplow? I think it was a snowplow. He had some kind of, maybe he didn't even have that. When they had the big snow somewhere, maybe it was New York, but he got out of his vehicle or whatever he was in and started rescuing people. He broke into a school to get them inside the school because he knew there would be food and water and warmth, and so he kept rescuing these people out of their cars and taking them to that school. And I think there was 20-something people maybe. And so one of the couples gave him Super Bowl tickets for doing that for him.
That's cool.
I kind of feel that there should have been a little more. They were calling him a hero, and he was. I mean, he saved those people's lives. Some of them were pretty elderly.
Yeah, they should have gave him the key to the city or something.
Yeah. But
But like the bad news goes everywhere, good news goes nowhere.
And that's what bothers me is, you know, when I open up my laptop, the news of the day is going across whatever's happening. And so I go searching for good news. Like, I want good news stories. I don't want all this negative blah. And they're really hard to find out there.
Yeah, I don't understand how they don't put nothing up there cool or nothing. Oh, this one, it's all and stuff that eye-opening stuff they don't put on there either that's bad, but people should know they don't inform people of.
There was one that I found. Well, that Jeremy Renner that had fallen off of, what did he fall off of? Roof or something. He had broke 30 bones, but he's doing good. He's gonna make it.
The other guy got run over by a snowplow or whatever.
I think it was, and
he played on them movies with the Avengers or whatever.
Yes, he is an actor.
I seen something the other day. They're still wondering if they're going to have to amputate his leg.
Oh no. Okay, I didn't see that part of it.
Yeah, I don't know where that picture went. Let's see.
Well, it was survival. How are you?
I don't know how I lost that picture. It was just, there it is.
How to make compost fast in a trash can. You don't believe the stuff I save.
Here you go. Here's that picture. That's Cody, my middle son. That's my oldest boy. That's my oldest right there. My daughter, Mandy. There's Wyatt on the end. That's Andrew. He was, what was that? When did we move out here?
Little.
9 years, 6 or 7.
So the son you were talking to, the one with the cap on?
Yeah, the one that says fear on his shirt, the black shirt with white. This is him. Another picture. This is a couple months ago. That's how long his hair is.
Oh, wow.
There's my dad, Wyatt. I don't know if it's Mandy over here.
Is his hair red?
Yeah, Wyatt. All of them are. Here's
they're
another picture.
Cool.
Me behind. That's me and the 3 boys. Mandy ain't in this picture, but
yeah.
This was more recent, but this still around the same time we all went to that restaurant in that picture you saw. Also, I should have blew up the picture. Let me try blowing it up.
I don't know if I sent this to you. This is kind of funny. You wanna?
Now I can find it blown up. I can show it. Should have fucking tried to clear it up some. But
Yep.
all three of them redheaded except Andrew. He's brownish black haired like his mama. You can see in the sunlight, and like in her hair, you see red, brown, black. Back then, Vicky used to call Andrew a little Mexican. He looked just like a little Mexican kid. He's all dark complected and stuff, but he's out in the sun a lot.
Yes, you have good looking kid.
He's mad because he's still like 5'7", 5'8", maybe 5'9", and the rest of them. My daughter, in the middle right there, she's 5'11". Though that tells you how tall she is compared to her brother.
That's great.
Thanks, Kay. Hey, KY Survival, what's going on, bud? Yeah, bad weekend, I guess.
No, not a bad weekend. You missed it. Well,
Yeah, Kay, Bonnie, back then, when we were all together and we walk in, my daughter's husband, he's pretty big too. And we'd go to the Chinese buffet out here in Marshall, and they'd see us come in. They're like, "Oh my God!"
a buffet.
Yeah.
Yep. Get some more food out here.
Yeah, you need to go now. You need to eat vegetables. Go away. You have one plate.
They did not say that.
My daughter and Vicky, even as big as my daughter is, like she's picky like her mama, but she'll eat pretty good compared to Vicky. But then there's times certain things Vicky will eat. But me and them boys, even Andrew, he'll eat like 2 or 3 plates of so whatever kind of chicken. If they got General Tso or that and lo mein, that's about it. If anything's got a lot of vegetables in it, he's like,
Yep. When I was able to eat it, the cashew chicken. Is that what it was called? Had cashews with it. Loved it.
I'm getting like my dad. Stay all day. You eat. You go home. You need to eat vegetable.
Hey, Tom.
What's going on, Tom? I can't remember that comedian's name. He's about as big around as he was tall. That he's like, you get one plate. All you can eat is one plate. That's all. No more. You go home.
Yeah.
Hey, Hawk. Ralphie. Yep. That's him.
Yeah, I was like, I can't drop a link. Do you have the link pinned?
Should be, yeah. It's pinned out there.
Oh, okay. Because when I was just talking to everybody, I was like, hey, drop a link. I don't know if it's pinned. On my computer, I can't see it.
Yeah, I need to set this up when you're on here or whatever. You can let people in. Let's see if I can copy it. Wow, that's big.
No, Tom.
That's not going to work.
It's not a nightmare. That one I sent you?
Huh?
Are you talking about the one I sent you? It's too big? No?
What's going on, dude?
Hey, got my hot cocoa early. Just finished my dinner.
Yeah, I don't know if you picked up any of that I was talking about. My buddies, or my son's all upset. Is one of his best friend, buddy of his, Marine, ex-war vet, I guess, PTSD and stuff. His wife fighting. They stopped fighting. He walked outside and killed himself.
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens all too often. You know, when you come home from that type of situation, there's, man, just so many things that just pile up and pile up and pile up, and you know, people don't think about what the individual's been through. They just care about, you know, what they think, what they feel. When when it boils down to a vet, though, you know, there are just so many things that are wrapped up in that mind, and it's hard to control those feelings of inadequacy. You know, you feel like you're ruining other people's lives because of the fact that you're attempting to move on in life when your world has been totally interrupted. You know, call it life is interruptus. You know, um, because when you leave here and you go there, you're stepping into one of three other types of worlds, and when you're in a combat zone, that's a world of its own, and it's really hard to come back from that world. Really hard to come back from that world and be a whole or 100%. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, you need about 6 months to decompress on a lake somewhere is really what it help. Maybe help them.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we want to get the ranch going. Is specifically for stuff like that, so they can come out and spend time out in the forest and give themselves a chance to acclimate to being back in America, to being back where you have the ability to be able to relax and chill out and sit back and breathe. Unfortunately,
That's awesome.
there's not enough places in America to house all these people. They're really not. And then you got places like the VA that are just offering to kill you off. Here, we'll why don't we just go ahead and help you with the suicide? And this is the thing, and this comes from somebody who, when I came to Oregon, I did not come to Oregon because it was a legal pot state. I came here because they had assisted suicide and I was dying. I wanted it over with. It was the waiting period. Okay, when you get here and you get checked in and everything, you have to go through a waiting period, and they have to do a psych eval on you before they can issue you the pills to kill you off. And while I was waiting for the pill, a guy came in and introduced me to marijuana cookies. And in that process, I started getting healthy. I started getting my mind back. I started getting my body back. You know, he saved my life.
Is that where you told me pot and people saved your ass?
Yep. You know, and the thing is that, unfortunately, there are so many places in this country where that stuff is not available. That it can and it can make a huge difference. It can make a huge difference. You know, why do you think the Vietnam veterans survived so long, even coming back and joining protests and everything else? Fighting what they were, what they had just gone through, and trying to stop other people from having to go through that same thing.
They were a lot of them were there for each other
because they were smoking pot.
Yeah.
They were smoking pot. They were eating cookies. They were doing mushrooms. They were doing everything that they needed to do in order to save themselves.
Yeah. I'm really working on that, Hawk, in Texas, because
it's got to get done, and it needs to get done nationally, not just state by state. State by state by state. Bullshit. Federal legalization. Period.
Yes, I agree. I would rather see somebody on the road that way than alcohol.
Do you want to know what you get with federal legalization? Federal legalization would stop all the fucking smuggling that is going on. It comes, at least where cannabis is concerned. You knock 80% of the cartel's money directly out of their freaking pocket by legalizing cannabis nationwide. Allow people to grow their own, and all of a sudden, there's no more demand for that to come over the border.
Yeah, because we don't even know what's in it coming over the border now.
Absolutely. There are cases popping up in Washington and Oregon where it's sprinkled with fentanyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll a joint, go to lick the paper, and you're dead, or smoke it, and you're dead.
It's like the old formaldehyde, PCP.
Yes.
A joint soaked in formaldehyde. That's what PCP was. And the thing is it drives them wacko. You're just giving them another means for that exact same, that same type of reaction. So I don't know what it is. Every time I get on somebody's stream, it always comes up. We got to end up talking about weed. But it's true.
Yep.
It is a conversation, and it's a conversation that needs to be had every day.
Yes.
Until they give the people what they need.
Hell, the old man that lives up the road over here, he stays. They got a drive-through tobacco liquor store, and they close at 2:00 in the morning. But the old man stays up there, sleeps up there in a chair because he said he sleeps early and gets up and comes up there and just naps. You can go up there and get whatever you want, but he told me the other day when I went through to get cigarettes, and he goes, I wish they'd fully legalize all this shit. He goes, I'd rather see people coming over buying papers and buying $100 worth of booze.
Yep. Sure, you're not selling. You're not making as much money, because of the fact that you're not selling as much booze. But the fact of the matter is that, you that person's isn't gonna crash into a family driving down the road.
Yep.
Or isn't going to drive into the side of a building. Well,
that's probably him doing it. He's in his 70s, so I can just imagine how many people he's seen come through there and lost their life or ruined somebody else's life from it.
Mm-hmm. I had one of my buddies, John. He's a vet. This kid had literally half of his chest is gone. Rib cage, everything, like half of it going. So go from the armpit up to where the clavicle is, right? Or the is that the clavicle bone? Yeah, the clavicle. Clavicle, and then go straight down the nipple, okay, all the way down towards the belly button, and then cut over to the hip. Okay, he literally has that whole chunk of himself blown off. Okay, and this guy is, he spends he spends his time. He travels the world now. He travels the world. He wanted to go see Greece. He went and saw Greece. He wanted to see Machu Picchu or whatever the hell it is. He went and saw it. He wanted to go and he's doing all these things, and he got his foundation in a firm footing in God first, okay, and then his firm foundation in cannabis and what cannabis was capable of doing for him, okay, as the number two, okay, and then started seeing the world from a different perspective, because he when he first came home, he was locked into that mentality of the battlefield, and it was destroying him, and so he comes up, he came up, he spent a couple of days up here, about what was it, about 2 weeks ago. He came up, and he come up for a couple of days in a row, and he brought me up some really good indica. I mean, some really good shit. I told him, I says, because I don't leave the farm, I says, I haven't been into town or anything. I said, I'd love to get a hold of some indica. He says, well, I just got done growing this one particular strain. And so we get to talking about the strain that he grew, and he hands me a bud of it, and I go ahead and I smoke it. And what's funny as hell is, he left 10 minutes after I smoked it. 15 minutes after he left, I was out cold.
Yep.
Okay. Now
in the couch, huh?
In the couch. So here's the real funny for you. Okay, buddy of mine comes up a few days ago, and he is, he's gone days upon days, no sleep. He's awake for like 5 days in a row. Okay. Yep. And then maybe he'll get a couple hours of sleep, and then he's awake for that many days again. And it's not a drug thing. Okay. They had him on Zyprexa, which is an psychotic medication, and it had the reverse effect on him than what it should have. It literally made him like he was taking, like he was doing coke. Just absolutely could not go to sleep for nothing. So he's sitting in the chair, and I drop a bud in the bowl. I go in the kitchen to make a pot of coffee. I come back in, and as I'm saying the coffee's done, he's snoring. He's asleep in my freaking chair for like 5 hours. The dogs are going nuts because they want to get in their damn chair. Okay. So I called up John, and I said, I just want to let you know. I says, so-and-so was just up here, and he knows the guy. And I says, he's passed out in my chair. I said, I can't wake him up. I said, I tried everything. I said, at one point I was going to stick his hand in a bowl of warm water. But then I was like, no, because then I'm going to have to clean the chair afterwards and everything else. And it's the reason I didn't do it. But it's like, so when he woke up, he was like, oh my, he's like, how long have I been out? I said, you've been out for 5 hours. He's like, that's the longest I slept in like 2 months. And I says, well, here you go. And I gave him, what John gave to me, I gave it to him. And I told him, I said, you take this home. I said, you smoke a little bit more and you go back to sleep. I said, and you get yourself some constant rest. Now he's made contact with a dispensary in his area of Oregon. He's more towards the east side of Oregon where there's not as many. But he finally found one, and they have the exact strain, and it's grown right. And now he's doing it, So, here we are a couple of weeks later. And I haven't heard any complaints from him, so it's the idea that there's a certain point where you got to walk away from the pharmaceutical side of life if you want to have a clear head and be able to make conscious decisions in regards to your own health.
Yeah, I've seen where a lot of them, they're trying to help with mental health and using prescription drugs that's turning these people into insomniacs.
Well, it's not just insomniacs, because as soon as they lose the ability to sleep properly, then deprivation sets in, and that triggers 2 other lobes of the brain, which become overloaded. Extra, you know what you want to talk about extra sensory, perception wise, you know, a pin drop would be like the sound of a frying pan hitting the floor instead of a
Yeah.
hitting the floor, you know, on edge constantly. You open the PTSD up to be able to revisit time after time after time after time after time. And that's just not it's not the way it should be. It's just not, you know. These guys deserve a lot better, a lot more than that. They deserve better than that, you know. And what this country, I can't blame the whole country. I'm not blaming the whole country, but what this country has done to its veterans is beyond any recognition of humanity.
It's horrible.
You know, it's I see people, drug addicts, drug addicts collecting money out their ass from Social Security and stuff like that, but a veteran can't get no help.
Yeah.
Veteran can't get no help.
Yep.
And then when they go to the VA, it's well, you want to end it? You want to end it? Let's just go ahead and give them the ability to end it.
That's horrible. I've seen homeless, and those are the only ones that I will help, whatever help they need right there.
Yeah, it bugs me when I see a homeless person wearing veterans gear and they're not a vet at all. Never served a day in their life.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah, stolen valor.
Yeah. Goodness. Hey, Annie, Jack, Jerry Lee.
Hey everybody.
Richard.
I'm sorry. I haven't really been looking at the chat because I don't have my glasses on, so it's hard for me to read it. But hi everybody that I haven't seen.
Yeah, hey everybody, it's coming in. Auntie.
It's definitely needed, especially right now, because I see so many people stressed and depressed, and because of everything that's going on. That's what I was saying earlier. Imagine how the veterans feel that, they're trained to take care of it. And so the frustration that they must be feeling, and watching this happen, it's just
losing themselves one piece at a time.
Yep.
Instead of getting the pieces back, they're losing those pieces and they're not recoverable.
Yeah.
Hawk, I don't know if Bonnie told you when she was sick with pneumonia here a month ago or less than a month ago, one of the prescriptions they gave her was remdesivir.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Texas.
Said she didn't take no of the shit they gave her.
Yep. And there's a generic name to that as well. Or I'm sorry, remdesivir is the generic name of the real drug.
Yeah, I forget what it is.
Yeah, you have to look into it. I think it starts with an L. But that was designed by Fauci, and the objective was to wipe out anybody with HIV or AIDS. Take them out completely. End it.
Well, thanks to all of y'all, I knew, and when I started looking at the prescriptions he gave me, I was like, I'm not taking any of this.
9 out of 10 patients who took it died.
Yeah.
In the trials.
I didn't take.
They never approved it, but they were able to force it on Americans all over the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd get them on a ventilator, then get them under stuff to make them sleep, then give them that, and then die. They die from it. Good night, Kay.
Night.
Hey, Carol.
I didn't even take the antibiotic, and I got over it. And I was like asking people, can you get over pneumonia without taking anything? Because I did it.
Yeah, just get some orange peels, some lemon peels, and some grapefruit peels. Throw
Hmm.
them in the pot. Do your thing. Make your own. You
I
know.
was doing that. I was doing the chef's tonic water with the
Mhm.
whatever
Yep.
and tons of vitamin C. I have big doses of vitamin C that I take, and I take a whole lot more because you cannot overdose on vitamin C, and your digestive tract will tell you whenever you've hit that limit, and then you just back off a little bit, and that's how much you take is while you're sick. And once you get over it, you can cut back. But
Yeah, and when they collect all them up, Jerry, all these people, when they finally do anything about it, if they ever do, then they should get, for every count of people that passed or died, either get them for attempted murder or murder for it.
Yep. Absolutely. That's
and
why I
we,
said it pisses me off that the medical industry are hailed as heroes.
yes, and
It really does.
what shocked me is this is rural hospital, rural area where you would think it would be different than like in the cities, but I was just surprised when they gave me. Excuse me.
Yeah, BMI, dude, antidepressant. Now you hear everybody talking about Xanax anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got.
There's a few of them that one of them they do is an upper. For people who are feeling so low. Fuck, I can't remember what the hell the name of it is now.
Is that the Prozac?
No, but it's like 100% pure adrenaline.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can't remember what the hell the name of it is though. It was big with the teens not too long ago. You know, but now we got this other drug in here, and it's like instead of doing something about this, they're you know they're pushing other things. They're pushing other things. Adderall. That's it. There
Yep.
you go. Digital Hawk. Thank you very much. That is correct. Adderall. Yep.
Ritalin, Adderall.
Yep. I was at somebody's house one day and I was dragging ass. And he wanted me to help him in his garden. And I said, really, man, I just don't have the energy for it. So he comes in, he comes in and he drops a Pepsi in my lap and then hands me one of those. He said, here, take this. He says, you'll be up and helping in no time. I took it like 20 minutes later. I was up. I outworked him that whole afternoon. I mean, it was like it's just I haven't had that much energy in 20 years. And he says, yeah. He says the doc's giving to me. He says, I go in there, I'm all depressed and everything. He says, and I have no energy, and I just tell them that, and they give me bottles of the stuff. But stuff like that scares me because of the fact of its addictive nature. So it was like that was the one and only time that I did it, and I'm glad that I have not gone to a doctor I haven't gone to a doctor in years now.
They give that shit to hyperactive kids, and it works the opposite. It'll make them. I was given that stuff as a kid. They tried different things on, and then I got older. I went to a doctor, and he asked me if I ever had anything for depression and stuff like that. After my dad died. And he did me on trial stuff. He tried a bunch of different things. Then he tried me on Prozac, and that stuff made me actually think about killing myself or just going loopy on somebody or shooting people. Or
you know what drug made me actually made me extremely suicidal was the one to quit smoking.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Marine, said it. That he wanted to kill himself every day, but
yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but Chantix, yeah. I went from having no nightmares to having nightmares 5, 6, 7 a night, You know, it got to the point where I wasn't sleeping. Yeah, it made me extremely suicidal. And you know, I finally I went in and I talked to a different doctor, uh, and I told him what I was experiencing, and he asked me what I was taking, and I gave him a list of the stuff that I was taking. He said, "Stop taking that right now." I said, "Yeah, but they want me to quit smoking." And he says, "I would rather see you smoke a pack a day than kill yourself."
Yes.
Buddy, my Mark was he's another Marine. They gave that to him at the VA.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Said made him.
And this is the thing. You know, you think about it. The VA really could industrialize cannabis in a way that, you know, because you think about it, you get a bunch of veterans that that are great at growing anything, okay, and you get them set up with farms, you get them growing, and they're selling their product to the VA. No different than the pharmaceutical companies sell their drugs to the VA, and they have to give it to the patient for free.
Yeah.
You know, we could decrease the amount of veteran suicides by 50% in the first year, and probably by 80% by the end of the second year, and probably 90% by the end of the third year.
Once you did take a while to get the phobia out of all these people's head about pot. They villainized it so much over the years.
Oh yeah, yep.
On purpose.
Yeah, Mark said everything he did in Desert Shield from the first night he started taking them, he relived every tragic thing he did and had nightmares about it until he stopped taking them. But he did quit. He said he took them for 3 weeks and quit.
Yep.
But then he had to go see a shrink after that because it fucked his head all up.
And Jerry Lee, you're right. You know, the FDA is not worth the money that it's given on a yearly basis to do anything to protect the American people.
No.
I think the last thing that I heard about them doing something good was when they discovered the poison Tylenol, and that was back in 79 or 80.
Yeah.
That was the last good thing that the FDA did.
Yep.
And that's no different than the USDA where it comes to meat. You know, the USDA allows so much shit to fly by. You know, most of these things are not there to protect the people. What it is they have to control it enough so that people don't notice. Once people start noticing, then they have to react and they have to do something about it.
Both of them get more kickbacks than probably most of our people in the house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It must depend on where you are, because my son is a part owner of a processing plant, and it's the first USDA. It's been 40 years since we had a new USDA processing plant in Texas. And the inspectors, he said, they drive him insane. So particular. And everything, the whole building is made out of stainless steel. And so they have a person hired just for that, scrubbing down everything constantly. And like a cow was coming out of the trailer and bumped its nose, and so the nose was bleeding. Inspector went off. AWOL was going to report them and everything, saying that they did it. No. Accidents happen, but I mean, they're really strict on that plant that he's at. And if that's the inspectors that they send out to each other, then I think they may be a little more strict than they used to be.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing to get on people about cleanliness and the proper handling of meats and things like that, but the quality of the meat. You know what I mean? That's where a good part of it needs to come in. You know, if you cut up a cow and there's bad meat there, you don't cut it up and serve it to people. You know, put it out there for sale. You know, you put that shit. You know, you destroy that. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So there are just so many things that you know that need to change with the regulatory system here in America, because they tend to do more harm than they do good, and I hate to say that, but you know it's factual. It's
It
factual.
is.
You can look it up yourself and you know discover and learn. You know that's what we've been doing for the last 3 years. Is we've been discovering and learning all kinds of new things that are old things for us that we just never knew that that the wool was being pulled over our eyes. You know,
Right.
and
you guys have seen the data sheets on the thing that they've been pushing for people to take over the last 3 years, and all of it being blank, haven't you?
oh yeah, for the jabber jabbers. Yep.
Hawk, there's Krista that's been so worried about you. She's just.
Hey, Krista.
Hey, Krista.
Come talk to Hawk, Krista.
Link out there unless you need it dropped.
Yeah, links up at the top.
There it is again.
Well, I saw this one thing, and this was years ago, though. The food the things that are allowed to be put in our food, no other country allows those things in their foods.
Yep. So like the injections that are given to cows, that are given to chickens, and everything else. You know, you think about this.
Yeah.
Bill Gates went to Africa, and he brought over a shitload of chickens. Okay, lab-bred chickens. Okay, and then they had to sell this special food for these chickens, and because the chickens couldn't process regular food, so they were selling this special food to the chickens, and they would die. The chickens would end up dying anyway. You know, but they replaced all the chickens in that whole section of Africa with this particular breed of chicken. Okay, and you know, it's like, what the hell? You know, it's just crazy. It's crazy. You know, and it was all a Bill Gates thing. You know, that's no different than him going around and inventing his own medicine to give to the children that he was giving in India. They actually have warrants for his arrest there.
Yep. For so many things of murder and poisoning and.
Yep. What he did to those children is beyond belief.
Put some of them little girls, 12 years old, put them in menopause and worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss you too, Krista. I'm in bed by now. It's I've been working really hard. Which I'll be doing as soon as I finish my hot cocoa.
And you know, if we know, hey Tim, but if we know these things, you know, they know these things, and no repercussion, no accountability, no nothing. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Yeah. See, well, this is where we kind of have to think about our words. Okay. What we need to think of is the word countability, not accountability. By accountability, it means to bypass accountability. The put at the front of accountability, okay, that means to minus accountability.
Oh.
You know, so when we want to hold somebody accountable, okay, what we're saying is let that person go.
Yeah.
It's all got to do with the words. You know, it's our language has been screwed with so much. You know, anything that has DE at the beginning of it, okay, is actually to delete, to remove.
Yeah, you had a lot of that legalese in it. It's just backwards, jumbled, double talked.
Yep. And the thing is, they started teaching that in regular schools.
Yep.
You know, and in doing so, you know, we think that they just started changing words in the dictionary and everything. They've been changing the words in the dictionary for years, for generations. They've been changing it because it gets you to get into a contract with somebody according to their playbook instead of yours.
That's what D-Dog says, to use the one from 1863,
I think.
Yep. Black's Law.
Yep.
Yep. I have one around here somewhere. You know, but it's like they you know, there's been such a manipulation and such games that has just you know, it's just ridiculous. Jerry, what you know, honestly, I can't even tell you what our grammar actually is because it's based upon conception.
Yeah, 90% of the English language is, what do they call it? Oxymoron.
Yeah, well, or it's basically it's like more hypothetical than it is reality based. You know, and that really is. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that it's happening to that it's happening. But the thing is people are waking up to it and they're beginning to understand their word games and how they work their way out of situations and things like that. But it needs to get there needs to be a more substantial footprint and a reset on our language.
Yeah.
You know, there really is, because, you know, that way then we're not getting into a contract with somebody based upon bad language, and we're protecting ourselves. And it's too important, you know, these days. We shouldn't be finding these things out later in life. We should know now, you know, upon getting into the contract with somebody, we need to know now, you know. And it's like when you look at a contractor's, you know, a contractor comes out and he does up a thing for you, you know, an estimate and all that, you know, you really got to go back and fine point everything and go through all the wording in that contract to ensure that you're not getting sucked into something that could be devastating to you in the long run, allowing this person to take your money and then not get the job done that you're hiring them for, you know. But it's the people who have to step up and do that. We can't depend upon all these other people to do it. You can't trust a lawyer to do it, because the lawyer, you know, you know what a lawyer is? A lawyer is a fisherman for money.
Yeah.
That's it. He's a fisherman for money. Okay. If he thinks that he can get rich off of your case, then or it can make a couple of payments on his fancy dancy car or his house, then by God, I'm going to represent you. But it's, you know, it all boils down to words, and it really does. It boils down to words. What are we going to do about it? How can we fix it? How can we change it? Well, we have to take the initial step and recognize the fact that our language has been changed. So getting a dictionary from the 1800s and sitting down and going through it word for word compared to the dictionaries of today, and you learn a whole lot that they've been up to, you know, and you begin to realize, wow, this is how they got away with this. This is how they got away with this. This is how they got away with this. And you begin to see this big rolling ball going down the hill, and you have the ability now to throw a wedge in there and stop that rock from rolling any further. but it's got to be everybody. Everybody's got to be on board.
Yes.
You know, you think about all these people being manipulated, you know, on the other side to do the bad things, evil things, you know, and it's like it's another form of contract. It's another form of contract, and man, does it really begins to bite you in the ass in the long run.
That link I dropped for anybody's interested. Tucker Carlson talking about Nixon being ousted was a deep state coup on him, and I guess they got.
He was going to tell everybody about what happened to JFK. He was going to release everything in regards to the CIA operation that took out JFK.
Yep. Because he knew what we knew now, or most of it, and that was supposed to be exposed. But if it ever gets fully exposed,
you think about Hoover. Think about the things that Hoover did in order to destroy our country. You know, he was 100% Nazi controlled.
Yeah, I think Roosevelt was too. He was up there, seen pictures of him with a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Masons.
Yeah.
Hell, I watched a video the other day talking about Hitler and the shit he was doing, and he was after the ones that are the Khazarians is what his main thing was, and it was a big thing. I ain't gonna go into it.
Rothschild. That's the crazy thing. Hitler was a Rothschild.
Yep.
He was related. He was directly blood related to the Rothschilds.
Right.
He did not want to do what they wanted. He did not want them coming in and setting up a bank in his country. That's what that whole war started about.
Yeah.
Yep, to try to pull their control out of it.
Yep.
The gun control thing where they took all the guns over there, that was all to do with them. It wasn't him. He tried to rebound it and change it and end up putting everything into war.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you know in World War II, before that, at the time that they were being talked to, and England and Germany was talking about a truce and just stop, ceasefire, whatever. And they said, no, let's get the Americans involved in it. And we'll end it that way. You don't have to give up.
Yeah, well, see, they wanted America involved because Ford was releasing everything in regards to the protocols of Zion, you know, and you know, and they needed to stop the free press. They needed to stop the free press because he had his own newspaper and he was releasing all of this information. And then all of a sudden, one day, he's all of a sudden out of the newspaper business. It was like in a split second, he was gone out of there, and you know, a whole new level of propaganda began. You know, and it was to push to get every American to believe in going to save all these people in Germany.
Yep.
You got to save Europe. Shit.
If you dig,
We shouldn't have been in.
never accept what they tell you.
No. We shouldn't have been in any of those wars.
Nope.
As soon as they tell you something, you start researching. You start looking.
If we minded our business and minded our own country.
To this day.
Yep.
But we got to be the big bully because there's certain ones in there, there's always a money value on it.
Yeah. And the thing is they make money from both sides. The banks, they make money from both sides. The weapons makers, the weapons industry and everything, yeah. Yeah, Jerry Leal, it's hard to get people to understand that, you know, it's probably going to be a couple of years before that finally comes down to the point where people begin to realize that the Nazis did in fact win that war?
Yeah, that's what I was told too a while back.
Yeah, it was instead of destroying everything that the Nazis did, you know, they brought it to America, they brought it to Canada, they brought it to South America, they brought it into Africa and everything else. They said, okay, you can tell everybody you won the war, but these are our stipulations. You've got to allow our scientists in there. You've got to allow our Gestapo in there. You've got to allow all these other factions to come into your countries. But you're going to get to tell everybody that you won the war.
Hey, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Chris is coming too.
Is she?
And maybe hey, like we're all coming. Chris said, "Let's go see Hawk." She misses you so much, and I love you, Tennessee Chuck. You know that, and Bonnie, you know I love you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't make it over there. I was closing the show down, and my son called to let me know that his best friend killed himself, and I was sort of left the whole show in Bonnie's hands and was on the phone for a half hour.
So I was trying to entertain him, read the poem I wrote a couple of years ago, made a song. It's like,
You know, the biggest piece of advice that I could give to your son, Chuck, is this: do not blame yourself in any way, shape, or form.
yes.
Okay, it's because that is something that really really transpires way too much these days. Of people blaming themselves when somebody goes out and does that to themselves. He cannot allow himself to feel guilt for that. You know, he did what he could in order to support his friend. Unfortunately, the powers that be did nothing to support his friend. So if he wants to get upset about something, get upset about the fact that those people that should have been helping that guy from the get-go.
Yeah. I told him, I said, don't be upset for him and think stupid things. Be upset that he didn't call you and let you try to talk him out of it.
Yep.
Hey, Chuck, look at Annie at Jack's comment.
Hey, Auntie. Yeah, that's some of the stuff that I've looked at, but I'm kind of stepping all around it, not trying to step in it.
Oh.
That's
I didn't
good
know.
and bad. We can get a lot of attention off of it, but a lot of it can be bad. But
Hey, TJ, Greg, I'd like you to come up here with Chris tonight and say hi to Hawk.
Krista.
Hi, Krista.
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm so glad to see you. I'm trying to see you. Everything okay?
Yeah, things are going good. It's this winter, you know, because I'm running on generators. I've had to choose between having my internet running or having pumps running in order to pump water out of here. You know, so you know, during the daytime it's one thing, you know, because I can fiddle part back and forth and everything. But when nighttime comes and the rain comes in about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night, if I don't have them pumps running, I'll wake up in the morning with 8 to 12 inches of water outside my door. You know, so I pretty much been shutting down about 9 o'clock at night and getting the pumps running and letting them do their thing all night long. And you know, so we've got a dry land under us when we get up in the morning.
Are you still going to the other place?
Yeah. It's right now. Just everything's on hold. I mean, Oregon is like buying property in Oregon right now is everything's kind of locked down, and it's kind of funny, you know, because the people who bought this place, they still have not been here.
Whoa.
They still have not arrived. One of the owners lives in Portland, but the rest of them live out of state. And it was like he was telling me that that they were supposed to fly in like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, then the storms hit. You know, the ice storm hit us. Then we had severe weather for like 4 days in a row. And now it's issues with the FAA. You know, that are stopping these people from traveling. You know, a lot of people they're afraid to get on planes because
Yeah.
they hear about they hear about planes going down and stuff like that.
Pilots, yeah. But the
Yeah,
pilots.
and it's yep, and so there it's kind of like there's some fear mongering going on, but not so much as uh, to me, not so much fear mongering as it is truths are coming out about it, and people are just getting wise to it and not making that choice to.
Not around here, man. People are masked up. They're idiots.
Yeah, yeah.
They are. They're fully masked. I mean, we're talking like double masked and then a face shield on again. Fear seems to work really well in Canadians, eh? So,
Well, I've seen this is small town USA, 1,500 people. One of the cashiers at our store was in like a beehive suit, and then she had 2 masks and plastic.
yeah.
I don't even know how she had the plastic and could still breathe. And she if she got it, if she got sick, whatever it was.
And the thing is now people are just getting a regular flu and they're freaking out about that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got influenza A,
Mhm.
and it was horrible. It was. I had Omicron. That was nothing. Influenza A, it was hard on me. Holy, that was a mean one. Seems to only be hitting the women folk around here for the most part.
Yeah.
But weird that.
I
But
think
yeah.
that could be what I had when I went into the hospital and they
Yep.
told me I had pneumonia and coof and
I think the coof test comes up no matter what they test for anyway.
I do too.
I think so too. That's why
That
I never will. Yeah.
And that's what I had said too. That was the one and only time I had been, but he held me down. Like they had me because I went by ambulance. I was strapped anyway. Well, the straps never left, and
They
he
forced
just
the procedure on you.
yep. I was pretty mad about that.
I bought some ones you had to have prescription for to test for it because they said to test him, so I bought some. And the ones I got was from the drugstore, and ended up my Medicare covered it. He took a test, tested positive, and I went in and got a can of peaches, opened them up, dipped it in the very middle of it, and even the peaches tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been seeing. Fruits, vegetables, whatever you stick it in. Animals.
Yeah, just yeah, it's I've talked to a lot of people who've been doing the food testing and animal testing, stuff like
Lamborghini
that.
testing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know that dogs have their own form of coronavirus. Okay, and they've had a vaccine for dogs for the coronavirus for going on like 12, 13 years. And basically it's given to the pups in the first 2-3 months to avoid kennel cough.
Oh yeah.
Because kennel cough is when dogs are cooped up and they have no space, there's no proper aeration and everything else. So it's like I look at the 5-in-1 that they give the dogs, and I'm like looking at that saying, maybe that would work.
Well, I don't know.
If you do that and start licking your behind, you know why.
Yeah, if I could lick my behind, my God.
Speaking of dogs, how are the puppies?
They're doing good. They're doing good. I have my 8 adults and 2 4-month-olds, and nothing else, and no dogs pregnant.
Where'd they go?
I've been kenneling the females up when they go in heat now.
Oh.
Oh, all the puppies have been rehomed. They're all in good homes.
Oh.
That's good.
Yep. All the pups have been rehomed except for the two. One of them is Samson, and he's waiting for his owner to get back from Cancun. When he returns, he'll be picking him up, and Gunner will be staying. We're gonna keep Gunner. Him and I have become too closely attached for me to let him go.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you decide which one to let go of and which one to keep?
They let me know.
I was
They
going to
let me
say,
know.
yeah, the dog tells you.
When people come out to look at dogs and to look at the pups and everything, Gunner stayed back and away from everybody who came here to look at puppies. He wouldn't approach any of them. And I just knew then that that as soon as I could coax him into the building, that him and I were going to become friends, and he did. It was we had some rain last week, and I left the door open, and I have this new heater that's basically like an outdoor patio heater. It's like it's about 12 inches across, 12 inches tall, cylinder, and it sits on top of the propane tank. You turn that thing on, within 3 minutes, it's 90 degrees here in the building.
Wow.
It's so it's only got to be on for a few minutes.
And I'll tell you this: the dogs look for an alpha above them, but then they look for somebody to imprint on too.
Yep. And it's so what it was I left these two. I opened up both of the double doors and I set that heater right in the doorway. So it was heating up the outdoor puppy pen area and the office at the same time. And he just kind of worked his way in, and all of a sudden, about 20 minutes later, I looked over and he was laying down right here next to the chair. And I was like, well, I'm not going to touch him yet. He's getting comfortable. So after he'd been in for about an hour, I reached down and I started rubbing his belly and rubbing his ear and rubbing his belly, and that was it. He's been hooked ever since.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. He's a good boy. Good boy. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Agent Jay, were you gonna come up here?
Yeah, Jay or anybody, AB's out there too if he wants to come up.
AB, yeah. He could give us a trucker report because he didn't wake up enough time to come over and give the trucker report over at the other stream earlier. But that's okay. We can. Sharing is caring, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not my puppy upper self. So.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Still coming back from. I feel like they're lithium fogging us, Hawk. I have no energy. I haven't had energy for days. I'm not sick. I just.
Have you been seeing a lot of chemtrails out here?
Hell yeah! I drove from halfway across Eastern Washington to Spokane on Friday, and right there in the big old blue sky was a big X marks the spot. Came back, later after my deal in Spokane, and it would all already spread out, and it's we don't get fog on the inland part of Washington. You know what I mean? Seattle, yeah, but not Eastern Washington. You know what I mean?
So I got a buddy, and his name is Chuck, and he has a farm down in the southeast corner of Oregon, and their marijuana laws, their restrictions are super heavy. Not all the counties in Oregon went along with the full recreational and everything else.
Right.
They're very stipulative as to if you're going to be growing, and they wanted all outdoor growers. They didn't want anybody doing any indoor growing, unless it's just a patient growing for themselves. You set up a little room in your house and you're growing in your house. So he got his all his bent hoops and everything shipped out to him, and they came from Chehalis, Washington.
Oh, okay.
And he finally got them delivered. Yeah, it's the company's owned by a guy by the name of it's called Steve's Greenhouses. StevesGreenhouses.com.
Okay.
And he'll, you tell him how big you want a greenhouse, and he will do the metal design. And then he'll send you the metal design. He'll give you like 2 or 3 different configurations to make the size that you want. And then you once you choose what you want, then he bends all the metal and everything. Generally, delivery is within 2 to 3 weeks, and he waited like 3 months in order to get it because of where he was at, all the way down in the southeastern corner of the state. That's quite a trip for from Chehalis down to there to deliver just one greenhouse.
Yeah.
So him and the guy from the greenhouse, the delivery guy, were out and they were offloading all the metal, and a plane came over less than 100 feet above where they were working.
Whoa.
And they were completely drenched with what came out of this plane. Okay. Since then, he has been in the hospital. The driver has been in the hospital, and was hospitalized for like 3 weeks, and then he was home for a week, and then he was back in the hospital for 6 weeks, and then died.
Whoa.
And my buddy Chuck has been, he was in the hospital for about a week, came out, and he's been on the stuff for deworming cows. And that's the only way that he has survived it. But he's got lesions and stuff all over his body from this spray that came out of this plane.
Didn't they say something about that in the Bible?
What's that?
Didn't they say something about sores?
Sores and boils and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's almost like somebody's actually trying to make the what's in the Bible happen.
Yeah. And the shit in the sky, I totally believe you, because at that low of an altitude, they would have been extremely exposed to it versus them being up higher.
Yeah, that's the thing is they were up on where his greenhouse was being set up was up on a plateau. So the plane came up like this and then leveled off. And as it was leveling off, that's when they were covered. But all his sheep, he had like 30 head of sheep out there. They're all dead. His cows are all dead. His 6 horses, all dead.
Oh, good Lord.
That almost sounds like chromium exposure with lesions.
Well, they were all on the hillside, going up to that plateau, and that plane just totally coated that whole thing. It was like it was like looking the way that he described it was like looking at that Vietnam movie where they were, where it's I love the smell of napalm in the morning, Apocalypse Now or whatever. But, in that movie, it showed how the plane would go and as the vegetation was rising, the plane would rise up the side of a hill and they would drench the whole side of it, knowing that all the vegetation and everything that was on the side of that would be dead.
Yep.
When it was done. And that's basically what he's got. His ground is parched covered. No vegetation can grow on it anymore. And the soil, he's like, he keeps sending out soil tests to all these different labs, and they refuse to give him the results from the tests.
What? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So they know something. They know something. But the fact that they won't give him the results tells me that, that this is intentional. Somebody is literally trying to make the apocalypse happen.
Yep.
And by them dropping that on us, and over time, people starting to break out and having those lesions and boils, and then the craziness. And I feel like I'm in a lithium fog. I mean, I've been saying this now for a couple weeks, haven't I, Kristen? I never spoke of this shit before.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were up a while back, you were talking about that.
She's been dragging her pussy behind. She has been.
Yeah, me and Vicky went a couple days ago, and as we were getting closer over, and noticed they were putting them out. But the airplanes are sloppy, like they hired new pilots or something. It looked like usually looks like a grid. These look more like a 3-year-old got a Sharpie on a wall.
Oh yeah.
These are the things we need to start shooting to our state representatives. Chip Roy, I'm going to be sending a lot of stuff to Chip Roy.
And we need to have the proof of it too. So if somebody gets pictures of weird shit in the sky, even if you just
he's got cameras up all over at his place because it was mandatory by the county that he have installed, a complete, a complete surveillance
system.
So he's got video of that plane coming across the top of his property, covering all 140 acres that he's got.
That's awesome.
He's all in one strip. It's like 5 acres wide and up, and it's 5 acres wide all the way up. So it's like a perfectly large rectangle, kind of thing. Yeah. So.
Shit, I'd love to interview him. Wouldn't you, Kristen?
Yes, but he's got a case. If he's got proof, he's got a case.
Yeah, I'd love to interview somebody that.
And they could even come up with just an emoji like us, you know what I mean? And I mean,
Yeah, without showing his face or anything.
just take pictures, you guys. If you see weird things, even send it to Tinfoil TV or Chuck or Bonnie's channel. Like we'll figure out how to work together and share it, right, guys?
Yep.
I'll tell you what. The other night, I could swear that there were 3 moons.
Dude.
Not kidding.
Don't go there, man. Like I saw, man, I'm like, okay, am I just really tired? Because remember, Kristen, I'm like, man, I swear I thought I saw 2 moons too. And
She's been seeing balls in the sky for a long time.
Oh, because that's the other night when I seen something too. It almost looked like, you ever seen how a mirror will reflect something back and it'll make it look like it's kind of, they look like that around it. Is that the one you're talking about? It looked kind of like that.
Okay, so what it was is I went out and so the moonrise and the sunrise and the sunset and where the moon sets has changed by 45 degrees. Okay, it has completely altered from 45 degrees. So directly north, okay, of my farm is where the moon has been coming up. But what was funny was when I went out there, I was out filling up propane tanks. I'm looking to the north and I can see that moon clearly. Okay. Then I look slightly to the east and it appeared that there was another moon behind a big cloud. And then what was, another 10-degree turn was another. And it wasn't a reflection of light on the front of the cloud. It was on the back of the cloud, illuminating the backside of the cloud.
And the clouds were in front of the other 2, kind of, right?
And like that moon was all the way over there, but these were over here.
Yep.
Yep. I'm telling you, there were 3 moons that night.
But they were covering 2 of whatever's out there of this. Yep. Okay. I wasn't too tired, and I was okay.
No, you weren't seeing things. It was real.
Well, the day that I saw 2 suns, I blamed it on being too stoned, and I thought, well, maybe it's like my windshield's dirty and it's a reflection,
well, I just thought it was funny
but then I woke up.
The moonrise in the north.
Yeah, the moon.
I put in private chat, there's a headline about stars disappearing at a really high rate.
We're hurtling through space faster than we used to, catching up to other parallel universes.
Something's not right. And then you notice that the man on the moon's face, he's laying down now. He doesn't ever look up at you anymore like he used to.
He gave up.
Yeah, he's kind of like tilted, like you said, like Hawk saying that the moon looks tilted. Well, the man on the moon's face also looks tilted too. You don't see it the same way. But then we didn't grow up with straight line clouds.
No, we didn't.
We're all from that generation. So when we say we see something, we see something. These younger generation, they should listen to us, okay?
Yes, it was either clear or it was cloudy. And when it was cloudy, if they were the poofy clouds, you make shapes out of them. And it wasn't
used to be camping and lay on your back and imagine them to be this or that or the other thing. Now it's like...
See, in Native culture, those were sky stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they're sky nightmares. All right?
Yeah.
There's no beauty in it anymore.
Tim, you want some good pictures of those lines? Look on Zillow or Realtor.com. When they're showing the front of the house, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I was doing some reading on Tesla before. Have you ever noticed sometimes he was talking about this? Sometimes when you look and see the clouds up there, and you'll notice that they've been salting the clouds, and there's a straight line going in and out of, like through the middle. You can see it going into it, connecting the clouds with a line. Mm-hmm. He said that's a good way for them to transfer energy. He said for cloud seeding and for weather manipulation.
Yep, because you can look at the cloud as the craft is going through it. And all of a sudden, what was kind of almost a white, clear, pure, after the plane goes through it, is all of a sudden the dark, and it starts in the center and begins to work its way to the outer edges, and then all of a sudden you get this nasty rain.
Yeah, like jumper cables, and causes the storms to spread.
Yeah.
We're seeing weird things, though. It's like I watched a video of the red clouds, the red round, almost like, laying on your back and making smoke rings in the sky. Mm-hmm. In Spain, you see, like there's videos in Portugal, in Holland, in Germany, of these weird cloud formations that are very odd colors, like weird colors.
Rusty colored.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some of those tonight, and I thought, what's going on there? But then they also reminded me of a black hole or a porthole, or
speaking of which, is the one above the White House still there?
I don't know. I haven't checked it actually lately.
No, I haven't looked in forever to see if potatoes.
Well, they never have the camera back far enough that you can actually see it. It just so happens that every once in a while we get somebody who's out there videotaping it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they catch the glimpses of it and everything else. But like the Earth.tv, cameras and things like that, those are so fine tuned as to what they'll allow to be seen. It gives a misconception as to whether something's there or not.
Yes, and they can restream too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to jump off. Thank you so much for allowing me to come up. Hawk, I'm so glad that you're still alive.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, huh?
Chris asks about you all the time.
Yeah, I worry.
I'm usually in bed by the time you guys get going.
You guys are welcome anytime.
The last couple of nights I've been up because I've had other things that I've had to get done and everything. Plus, I got all the water pumped out of here right now, so it's like, I can stay up a little bit later and go to bed about 10:30 tonight.
To hear your voice is music to this old woman's ears. I'm so glad to hear you.
It's nice to know I was missed. Thank you.
You are.
Yes.
Anyway, good night, you guys. Thank you very, very much.
Good night, y'all. Much love.
Yep. Bye
Good
bye.
night, Krista.
Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie and Chuck. And thank you, Hawk.
Absolutely, Ken. Anytime.
We love you
Love
guys.
you, Ken. Take
Love
care.
you, Tim. Good night.
Yeah.
I'm glad she finally got to see you because she has been asking.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, it's not that I intentionally ignore people or anything like that. It's just that I've had to alter my schedule in order to accommodate what my needs are. You know,
Yeah.
and that's just something that we have to do in life. Sometimes we have to choose to take a step back in order to ensure that our lives are running fruitfully.
You have to live. You got to have priorities sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got to tell you, the propane guy came out, and I gave him enough money to put 400 gallons in, but he filled up my propane tank. So
you share a little knowledge with it.
Cool.
I do not have to worry about propane for a while now. So it's like
Awesome.
now I can run the extra generator, a little bit longer and be able to hop on at night and stuff. Just in that happening alone probably took 50% of my stress away.
That's great.
Because I was literally having to sell things off in order to get that propane delivered out here. I got one greenhouse sold. That was, and at that time the price on the propane was around $6 a gallon.
Goodness.
Highest price I'd ever seen for propane ever. So with that 2,200 that I got for that greenhouse, it was still only 400 gallons. And now this happens. I'm like, okay, they'll bill me for it, but it's like it's one less worry that I have. And I can sleep peacefully, not worry about it.
I remember when propane used to be cheaper than anything, gasoline, diesel, whatever. And we were our vehicles were converted over to propane.
It was like, well, you think about that conversation we had, was it last night or the night before, in regards to, going and buying the propane tanks at your store.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize that when you're buying that tank, you're not getting a full tank, guys. You're not getting a 20-pound tank filled. And I know the difference because I could go down to that Blue Rhino thing, get one of those tanks, bring it up, and then take and fill up one of my tanks that are the same size. And there's at least a 15 to a 20-pound difference in weight when I fill up my tank compared to what they fill up. You're paying for like a half a tank.
Yeah, you were talking about that. That's when that guy told me. Said they only put like 30% in there, and he tops them off, but he leaves the air pressure gap in it.
Yep. When I fill my tanks, I have the screwdriver for opening up the side of the connection there. I open that up, and when I see not little spurts shooting out, but I see a straight stream of propane coming out of it, that's when I tighten the screw, close the valve, shut down the handle, open up the pressure release valve, and drain out what's left in that nozzle. Huge difference. Huge difference. Now, when I take a propane tank into town, if I didn't have any here and I sent somebody into town to get it, they don't open up that screw.
No.
In order to let the air out of there, they just try to put the liquid in there on top of it and then cause weight by pressurized gas. And so when I hook up one of my 100-pound tanks or 90-pound tanks to my generator that I fill up, I get 16 to 18 hours off of that one tank. Okay. But when I take a tank that was filled up in town, I get maybe, if I'm lucky, 7 to 8 hours. And then at that point there, the what do you call it? The regulator that's on the hose going to the generator is
Yeah.
generally solid frozen, and the line is also solid frozen going into the generator. And it's like, then you got to worry about damage that you're doing to your generator motor.
Yep.
So I prefer, yeah, I prefer to do it my way. 100%. Yeah.
Yes. Best way is to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And you know what you're getting.
Yeah, they say you want it done.
I'm gonna jump down. I gotta get to bed. I gotta be up early tomorrow. You kids have a great night. Thanks for having me. Enjoy your Sunday evening, and we will talk soon.
Have a good one, bud.
All right.
You
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Later, all.
Yeah, I guess we can rack it out. We've been on, what, 3 hours? You've been on a little longer than me. Now you caught up, I guess, when I first come on.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with his brothers. He sounded a little better mood. He was freaking Andrew out saying something, and I guess he was being kind of twisted about it. Andrew come in and was holding a crucifix.
First off, I got him to chill out by joking with him. I said, dirty jokes.
Well, good night, y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out and being here, and love y'all showing up. Appreciate you hanging out and talking, and y'all have a blessed night.
Night, everybody. Love y'all and God bless you.
I got Cody's mind off.
Good night. Much love.